I'm Robin. I'm the clinical director here at Blue Ova Health. Here we support women and men in their fertility journey and prepping for and going through first trimester, second, third, and fourth trimesters. We believe that this should be an empowering and inspiring journey, and we are here. We've created a space that is like a sanctuary, so you can come here and really be at ease and let us help the healing process and balancing process begin. Here we talk about prepping the soil before we plant the seed. So we want to prepare the body as we work towards preparing for conception. We recommend really working together for 3 to 4 months with acupuncture, herbs, looking at dietary shifts that might need to take place. We highly encourage the female to be coming, who's trying to conceive, to be coming in at least twice a week. Well, really twice a week for 16 weeks. The reason for this is, you're born with all your eggs, but from the time they're selected to ovulation is this 4-month window. And so there's so much that we're able to do in that time to support quality. And we would also love to be seeing, if there is a male partner, we would love to be seeing him as well. And there's so much that we want to be doing to support both partners, looking at their diet and looking at supplementation as well. This is such a snapshot in time for them as far as trying to get our optimal nutrients in our body. So of course, we're wanting a prenatal that's whole foods based. We're wanting to make sure there's adequate folate within that prenatal. There's so much we want to do for egg quality as well. So we're looking at acai and CoQ10. Those are oftentimes our first supplementation that we look at for egg quality. And in general, almost always, the rare exception, we're recommending vitamin D supplementation as well. Different dosages for different situations, but that's going to be really important for prepping for implantation later and prepping the uterine lining. And within this whole process, we're supporting the whole female reproductive system. There's 4 phases in everyone's cycle. So the first is the bleeding phase. So when we're seeing you, we're encouraging all the uterine lining to completely be shedding off. And then the second phase is supporting the follicle. So that lead follicle, we're doing so much to prep it to be ovulating at really 14 days after, ideally within that, give or take a few days, 14 days after your first menstrual flow. The third phase is keeping those fallopian tubes nice and open. And the fourth phase, keeping progesterone high to support implantation, keeping the uterus still and warm. And this is how we're optimizing this fertile time. So in the first trimester, of course, we want to congratulate you. And we want to do so much for continuing to support this little blastocyst, then embryo that is growing every day. We want to do so much for miscarriage prevention. We're encouraging the woman to be resting, to be eating more foods. This is the time to listen to your body. That's where, oftentimes there's a lot of fatigue, and that's one of the many signs that your body needs to rest. This is often when there's so much nausea as well. There's a lot we can do for prevention, or if the nausea is already coming on and we haven't seen you yet, then we're doing acupuncture and herbs and lifestyle recommendations to minimize the nausea. So one really helpful tip that our pregnant mamas love is the C-band that goes on your wrist. And we put it on at a certain acupuncture point that will, with the C-band, it's stimulating that point to be activated and keeping the nausea at bay. B6 is another supplement that is really helpful to keep the nausea down. There's also different herbs that we recommend at this time, if appropriate. And one really important thing, along with having a lot of warmth in your diet and bland foods, just like really easy to digest foods, is avoiding all spicy food. So spicy is very moving and invigorating, which in pregnancy we're wanting to hold and have stillness. So that's where we're promoting all those warm foods and encouraging you to stay away from anything spicy. And something else that would be really helpful for nausea, since that often is the most common symptom coming up, is so you're wanting a lot of fresh smells because you're hyper aware of other smells. So having peppermint oil, like dabbing it behind your ears, on your wrists, under your nose, so that's all you're smelling, is going to be really helpful for when you're navigating the outside world, outside of your home. And peppermint, so keeping your mouth really fresh. So peppermints, or like ginger chews, or like, I don't know, other kinds of like gum or throat lozenges, anything to keep that taste really fresh is going to do wonders for keeping nausea at bay. And I guess my last tip would be keeping protein really high. So in a perfect world, you're getting some good animal meat protein in, as well as like good fats and beans and seeds and some good protein. And we're wanting that to all, as much as possible, be warm, so your body doesn't have to work hard to digest it. Our last case scenario, if we oftentimes you can only do bland, cold foods. So if you have to, we're doing a protein powder in a smoothie. That's our last resort. But keeping your protein high is what is going to make a world of difference for not having nausea. So by trimester 2, hopefully you're feeling better. And at this point, if you're not, we want to be seeing you and supporting your body to really strengthen your body so you can be feeling well during this time. If you are feeling well and no symptoms, it's all about prevention to continue to carry you on having an easy pregnancy. So there's so much support we want to be doing for your whole digestive system, for continuing to support and balance hormones. And I guess one common symptom that can come up is leg cramps. And so for this, what we often do is have people put on a topical magnesium cream and teach them how to massage out the leg cramps when they're happening, which are often at night and painful. And so if we can be getting that locally and absorbed into your muscles, they will relax. Heartburn is another very common symptom at this time. There's so much we want to be doing for your whole digestive system. As the baby at this point is growing and expanding, all your organs are shifting. There's less space and room for all those organs as they're moving all around. So this is where the energetic property of more of this heartburn showing up. Another really important recommendation we have here is having women begin a probiotic really by week 20. So probiotics are so important to not only support a good female probiotic, they're so important to support the whole digestive system, but also the vaginal flora. And when we get, we want to be building up this good vaginal flora, so when we get to the end of that third trimester, there's a good bacteria built up, and this is what, when the baby descends and exits through the vaginal canal, this is what lines their gut exposure, and this is going to set up baby to have a really good functioning digestive system right away. And of course, if a C-section happens, or if the baby had to take antibiotics or anything comes up, there's so much, basically we would be giving the little baby a very small amount of probiotics as well. So welcome to the third trimester. Here it's all about labor prep and induction support when we get really close to the due date, and your OBGYN is saying that we're coming up on that time. And so with labor prep, we want to be seeing you at least the 4 weeks before you are your due date arrives. And in that time, and this is if you're just feeling great and there's no symptoms, there's no swelling, everything feels good. So all we are doing is just continuing to build you up, keep the adrenals nice and strong. So when your body is ready to go into labor, that can happen really easily. The image I like to give is of a boulder just kind of being rolled towards the cliff. And when your body's ready to go into labor, it just kind of tumbles down the cliff rather than having to do anything forceful and shoving that holder and forcing it down the cliff. So acupuncture is all about helping your body do this when it's ready. And induction support is really, we would want to be seeing you 4 times before an induction is scheduled. And it's about strongly sending signals and building the mama up so she can send signals to baby that it's time. And of course, this is all under when the doctor is saying that this is appropriate. Doctors are sending their patients here for us to do this, these encouraging treatments. So now I want to talk about breech. Oftentimes there'll be an ultrasound or on palpation, a mama will find out that her baby is breech, meaning the head is not head down, which is the optimal position for baby to be in position to be exiting when we're closer to the due date. So by between week 28 and 34, baby wants to be spending more and more time head down. And in this time, if that's not happening, we are, especially as we're getting closer to week 32, 33, like we are needing to be doing what we call, we use mock combustion. And so these are these breech treatments to encourage baby to move head down. They work 75 to 85% of the time. We have a really high success rate. And if for some reason that baby is not turning, we almost always see that there was a reason for it. And that's what we love about Chinese medicine, that there was never anything that we were forcing, but we're optimizing the environment for baby to go head down. And if baby didn't go head down, oftentimes with the birth story, we learned that, the baby needed to be in that position for whatever reason. We could go on, whether the placenta is in a certain position, or there could be so many reasons. And that's why this treatment is so safe, that we're just building the mama to send those signals. If it's possible, baby will go head down with these treatments. Once your baby has arrived, there is so much we want to do to build you back up. There has just been a huge opening. Baby is coming out, whether vaginally or through C-section, and we're wanting to help the uterus shrink again and bring in the warmth. We say with that opening, coldness can come in. And this is such an important time to bring in the warmth. We say the first 42 days determines the health for the next 42 years of your life. So this is such a precious time. In general, we want you home with baby, staying warm, you're eating those warm foods. We're not wanting any chills to be happening at all, and that is one of the many reasons why we're wanting you to be home in your house. The exception is if you have to go to a doctor's appointment, or we also encourage you to be coming in for this, what we call mother roasting, which is warming the mama back up, bringing warmth into the uterus, helping her recover and heal, building her blood back up, bringing in more breast milk if appropriate, or helping with any nursing symptoms that might be coming up. Maybe there's an overproduction issue. We're helping her body be able to support and produce the adequate amount of milk for her baby.